check. A group of middle school mischiefs are assigned to kill their teacher. Yes, we're talking Assassination Classroom today on the Biggles Breakdown. How is everybody doing? I love this show. It's so much fun. I also did a little Biggles Bites on the Koro Sensei, which is a spin-off where they're basically in an RPG. This is your more serious, longer version. It has twice the episodes. Each episode is twice as long as the little one in the spinoff. So this is Assassination Classroom. These are the kids of Class E. Now, Class E is a classroom that if you're not making standards that their middle school holds for their students, then you get sent to the old campus, which is where Class E is. And these are the misfits, the troublemakers, the people that don't study hard. And everything changes when they meet Koro Sensei. Yes, that yellow guy right behind me is Koro Sensei. He changes everything. When you first meet him in episode 1, he says, he's the one who destroyed the moon, making it a permanent crescent moon. Now, the class, this show starts off with hail of gunfire. That's right, a hail of gunfire. So, it gets your attention really quick. There's just shooting everywhere. But they don't shoot bullets because bullets can't hurt Koro Sensei. You know what can hurt Koro Sensei? BBs, little plastic BBs. Plastic knives can hurt Koro Sensei. Not steel, titanium, iron, none of that. Bronze, copper, none of that hurts him. But plastic little BBs. They're called anti-me BBs, as Koro Sensei calls them. Anti-Koro Sensei BBs. So if you've watched the Biggles Breakdown before, usually I have a guest on, but when I don't, I usually just talk about the show, how I like it and what it means, and then I talk about the characters. But when we did the Batman Beyond, I broke it down by episode, and I think I like that style a little bit more. I can communicate with the chat. We can start talking about what we like about the show as well, and then we can talk episodes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up the episode list, and we're going to just talk about the episodes as we go, talk about what I like about the episode, how it starts, right? So as I've been doing, I've been talking about the first episode, and the first episode starts off with hailing gunfire. So it is called Assassination Time, is episode 1. So you meet Nagase, the main character. If you look up above me, he is the one with the blue hair. I met his voice actor. His voice actor is actually a girl. And when she put a quote on it, she put a quote that I will go over later in the thing. But knowing what that quote meant, now that I watched it a second time, because I had literally just finished watching it when I went to that con. So it was like I knew about it, but I didn't know, or no, I had just left a different con. So it'd been like 5 months since then. So I didn't remember a lot of the lines. But when I rewatched it and I heard that line, like her say that line as Nagase, or Nagase, I can't even say his name right. I laughed so hard because I was like, oh my God, this is what it was. So it starts off, episode 1 starts off fucking epic, gunfire everywhere. They're trying to kill the teacher. And then you get the exposition. We're a class full of assassins. Our target, our teacher. And then it goes in, it goes, we are class E, also known as N class, because this is where the bad kids go. Like they don't try hard in school or whatever. So they go here. And it starts off and they try to kill Koro Sensei with these guns that shoot BBs, plastic knives. But you meet Karasuma, who is the government agent helping these kids try to assassinate Koro Sensei. Now, he's not Koro Sensei right now. They just call him the octopus because they do not know what to call him yet. And there's three boys that try to convince Nagase to go basically blow himself up with a grenade BBs to kill Koro Sensei. Now, the reason why they went for him is because he had very low self-esteem, and wasn't able to like see worth in himself. So he walks slowly up to the board, telling Koro Sensei nothing. Like just walks up to Koro Sensei, and then they pull the thing and go to blow up. And Koro Sensei sheds his skin to protect Nagase. I swear I'm saying his name wrong, but I'm sorry. I can't say his name right. I've never been able to say his name right. And he protects him, and he tells him you have to have like more worth to yourself. And this is when you first start to tell that maybe Koro Sensei isn't as bad as he says. And he really wants his students to grow. He wants them to better themselves. And he gets upset with the three boys that tried to convince him to sacrifice himself to kill him. So that's episode 1. So it starts off dark, that he's like going to blow himself up to try to kill the teacher, right? That he's supposed to assassinate. And it starts off dark, it starts off like very action oriented with them shooting, trying to kill the teacher. So it's a lot coming in that first episode. Second episode is probably my second favorite episode. Any one of how do I say his Shigno Tomohito Shugano. I think that's Shugano. I don't know how to say his name correctly. I'm awful with Japanese names, so I apologize. But this is my favorite character. They call him Baseball Geek in the episode where they get code names. And this is all about him trying to kill Koro Sensei with a baseball. And they start writing down all his weaknesses that he has. And I don't know. No, this isn't the episode where we get the funny weakness. So he starts writing down his weaknesses, and he notices that Shuguro really likes baseball, and he noticed where he got his pitching form was from. So he actually flies to America, gets the baseball pitcher that he likes, and like grabs him with all his tentacles and like feels like all his muscles, and then goes back and was like, oh, there's a difference between you here and you here, so you should try doing this more. And he helps him learn to pitch better, all while they're trying to kill him. So they're just constantly trying to attack him, kill him. He tried to hit him with his fastball, wasn't able to kill him because he moves too fast. By the way, Koro Sensei moves at Mach 20 speed. So he's very fast. He's very, very fast. where was I? Yeah, so he's very fast. They try to teach him, or he tries to help him get better at baseball while still trying to teach him how to assassinate him. Now, episode 3, we meet Karma. Karma is the red-haired person in the background on this side over here. I am growing out my hair and going to dye it red when I meet his voice actor in January. Hopefully it will get long enough that I don't need a wig. If it doesn't, I'm just going to cut my hair and get a wig. But it should be long enough by then, I am hoping, because it is almost at my eyes. So I'm hoping that it will reach there by the time I meet him. So we meet Karma. Karma is the bad boy. He is in E-class because he got in fights. He just got back from suspension because Hirasama convinced them that they needed this kid as well, I believe, and convinced the principal to unsuspend him and let him join E-class in the assassination attempt of Koro Sensei. Hello, gaming or what? What? How are you? Yeah. Okay, so we meet Karma, the red hair kid, and Karma's like way funnier in Koro Sensei Quest. He's really funny in this, but just because he has like a quirk in Koro Sensei Quest, that anytime he says something arrogant, which is a lot of his character, he gets hit on the head by something, which is really funny to me. But his character's like the same, but he gets hit. So he starts off, and he's the first one to hurt Koro Sensei in class. He shakes his hand with anti-me BBs on his hand, and he even he gets him a second time. So he gets him multiple times. And he's like, "Don't worry, I will be the one to kill you," to Koro Sensei. So he's constantly trying to kill Koro Sensei in this episode. You meet Karma. Karma is a great character. I'm going to cosplay him as him when I meet his voice actor. So that's going to be awesome. But this is the episode where you meet Karma. So then we get to episode 4, a new foreign language teacher. This is where you meet Irina Yelovich, also known as Professor Bitch. She is an assassin by trade. She comes in to be an English teacher and teaches you other languages. She teaches you infiltration. She teaches you so much stuff to work as like a woman assassin on how to kill people. She even has her lesson plan. You are great in bed. And it's pretty funny because she's teaching like so they're basically the equivalent of freshmen here because they're third years in middle school. So they're basically freshmen. That would basically be freshmen for us. So they're learning how this works. And this is where we find Koro Sensei's greatest weakness. You know what that is? Boobs. Boobs are Koro Sensei's greatest weakness. He is mesmerized by boobs. Now, we can't blame him. He's also weak to water if he doesn't have his mucus. But his greatest weakness is boobs. Koro Sensei. So she tries to seduce him, and he's just like his face turns pink when he's like flustered by boobs. So his face is pink. He's like staring at Professor Bitch's chest, and he's just like dun dun dun, like and it's so funny. And she tries to assassinate him, and he goes, "I smelled those dudes the whole time, and none of those bullets will actually hurt." So she failed. She failed miserably. She's like, I'm leaving. And they're like, no, you should stay. So they teach her to save or to stay. Now, this one, assembly time, right? So this one, they have to go to a school assembly. They bring E-class in so the other students can make fun of them. And then they realize that they have Professor Bits there, and all the kids in the upper or the other grades, like the higher ranking classes, were like, why do they get a hot teacher? And it's a really funny interaction. But Okada, who is the girl with the glasses, like purple hair, she loves science, right? She's really smart in science, and she's not good at like the other stuff. She's not a good assassin. So she went up to Koro Sensei and goes, I've worked really hard on this. It's a poison. Will you try it? So Koro Sensei tries the poison, and then he goes, you should try this. And he lies to her, and it makes him even stronger. He's like, haha, you just powered me up. You should never just go up to someone and try to poison them, right? And everybody was like shocked that she did it. But it's really funny. This episode, she's trying to poison them. They're all getting insulted. Oh, this one has one of the best parts in the episode, and this is what causes the principal to kind of like go like a little crazy. Not as crazy as he is a little later in it, but the principal's an awesome character, by the way. You find out why he's so fucking nuts. But there's a line in here where two of Nagasi's former classmates, who I shall call Dickhead 1 and Dickhead 2, get in Nagasi's face, and they're like, I should kill you. And Nagasi's like, kill? Why don't you go ahead and try? And like just like kind of walks through him like a fucking badass. And he's like the smallest dude. He's like, he is the smallest dude in his class, and I think he might even be smaller than Kaede, who is the little green-haired girl. And it's fun. It's a fun interaction. I really like that interaction. It's so it shows how much growth they're getting from a point of their self-esteem. Because when they started, they had none. And now they're getting some, and they're working their way up, and they're getting more and more self-esteem per episode, which I think is a really good writing mechanic that is in Assassination Classroom. So I do really like that aspect of Assassination Classroom that I don't see in a lot of other shows. So I really like that from like a writing standpoint. So that's good. And then we have test time. So this is midterms. So let's see, what did he say? Kuro Sensei told them they had to be in the top 50 of the class or something happened. I forgot exactly what he said. If you don't get in the top 50 of the class, then you don't get this. So they start studying for midterms. And I believe they go to the library. So they go to the library and they meet the Big Five. Now, the Big Five is the top 5 students in the school. One's in science, one's in poetry, one's in English. No. Rio's the top one in English, so it's not English for the Big Five. Akano isn't for top of like everything. And then there's the other two. I don't remember what the other two are good in the Big Five. One's science, I think, but I can't remember the other one. So they meet with the Big Five. Karma talks shit, right? And Karma's actually really smart. You know, he got sent to E class because he's fighting, but he's actually really smart. So they go into the midterms, and what's really cool is they're doing the midterm and they're doing a quest, and or a test, and it looks like they're fighting. So it looks like they're fighting these monsters, which are a metaphor for the test, because the test is really hard. So I think Koro Sensei says in this one, let me check a little bit more below, like cheating. No, okay. Okay. So they try to get within the top 50, and I think you got one who went Rio. What is Rio's last name? Nakamura. You got Nakamura who gets like first in English. You get Karma, who I think gets third at midterms. He's like third place in midterms. So right behind Asano or Akano and one other of the Big Five. So they do that. And then that happens, and they get to go on the school trip because of how well a lot of the students did on midterms. So usually E-class does not get to go on this trip, but E-class was good enough to go on the trip. So I think this starts as one of the darker episodes of the show. Now, Kanzuki, who is like the prettiest girl in class, as they call her, Shugano like loves her, you know. Her, Kaede, who else was in the group? Kanzuki and I forgot who the other one was in the group. Nagase, Karma, Kaede, Kanzuki, Okudo, maybe? I don't know. There's five of them. I can't remember the five. But basically they get the girls get taken by high school kids, and they manage to get the best of Nagase and Karma. So they get taken, and luckily there is a guide written by Koro Sensei. Now this guide is insane. It's probably like the thickness of like 3 of my booster boxes. There's over 1,000 pages, and it says what to do if your classmates get abducted. And they start reading all the information, like what you would do for an abduction. And he has the whole area mapped out. Like, this is potential hideouts for abductees. So they go and they find out that Kanzuki it was like a little party girl, and that's why she got sent to E-class. And she basically stuck out one time and then liked it and just kept doing it. So they're like, I knew I had saw pictures of you, and they were going to like do a photo shoot of the girls. Like it's a really dark, bad episode. But then I think okay, yeah. And I'm not sure if it's resolved in this episode or the second episode. But the second episode, 8, period 2. So this is like a two-parter. Now, if I remember right, I think it's solved in the second one, not the first one. But it might have got solved in the first one. But I'm going to say what happens. Koro Sensei comes in and kicks the shit out of the high school kids and like gets the girls back. Karma comes in, kicks the shit out of them too. And I think he like hits one of them with the fucking guidebook, which is fucking gigantic. So they go like Koro Sensei gets there and they kick the shit out of the high school kids because no one hurts Koro Sensei students. So it goes really dark, and then you see the badassness of what's going on with these kids learning how to assassinate their teacher and how badass Koro Sensei is. So this second part, there's a sniper, right? His name is Red Eye, because once he shoots, he sees like red because blood everywhere, right? He doesn't miss, and he tries to kill Koro Sensei 3 times. And the kids scouted everything. They had it all set up. Koro Sensei almost got shot like 3 times, and Red Eye just missed because he like moved last second. But there is an episode, or there's a part in there where they're going and they're reenacting like a samurai scene, and Red Eye is like, "Where'd he go?" And he's like, "Oh, I can't shoot there. It's too close to these other people." So he's like, he doesn't want to shoot any of the people. So he avoids shooting him there. And then he gets a call from Kurasama, who tells him, all right, give up on the assassination. Some of his students are in trouble, so let him go. All right. So he's leaving. So you don't have to go try a next one. And he's like, that's good, because I've never missed a kill target, and it's kind of scary that like he could survive. So this one is all about trying to set up Koro Sensei. You meet Red Eye, who's really awesome as an assassin. You see how smart the kids are trying to get this assassination. Had Koro Sensei not seen that last second and dodged, he would have probably bit the bucket there, boys and girls. Now we get transfer student time. This is where you meet Ritsu. Now, Ritsu is AI, but Ritsu is also a giant-ass box full of weapons everywhere. And all she's doing is recalculating, trying to kill Koro Sensei over and over and over again. And the next day, all the students tie Ritsu up because they do not want her to interrupt class anymore, because they've been learning for 9 episodes now. You know, they want to keep learning. And on top of that, they get to try to assassinate their teacher. So Koro Sensei goes in and updates and gives her all these things to where she can consider other people's feelings and stuff. Well, they said they had to fix it back, so the scientists come back in and they remove everything. But Ritsu now has free will. Yes, that's right. AI has free will. The machine has free will. You know what she does? She said, I decided to back up everything because my classroom is this. So she becomes free-willed person, and Takebashi has his first line of the entire show. And they say that's your first line and you're misogynistic, you know, because there's a couple characters like Fuwa and some of the other boys, I think two of the other boys. They're the ones who break the fourth wall. They're the ones who talk to the people. And people are like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, they're the ones who know they're in a show. They're constantly making references like, we can't do that. Another anime does that, right? So So she now has free will. What is going on? Why is my phone going off like fucking crazy? That's like 100 PayPal payments. Who cares? Okay. Sorry, guys. My phone would not stop. And he has his first line, and he goes, 2Ds is better than double Ds any day. Because he's more into anime girls than he is real life girls. You know the type. Lethal cough. No, I'm just kidding. Lethal's not like that. But he does love his anime women. Okay. So now we have LR time. I have to read what it says. Irina's teacher. Oh, okay. So Irina's teacher, as it says in there, it's actually she's actually the protege of like one of the best assassins in the world. He shows up and basically tells her to leave because she is not helping. So you have Irina and Kurasama, who is the baddest dude on the planet, right? Go at it because she's like, no, I need to be here to assassinate after wanting to give up and leave. She's like, no. And basically, she tries every trick on Kurasama. But Kurasama is like all business. So he's like, that won't work on me, right? And then at the end of the episode, she's like, pretty please, will you let me kill you? And he's like, fine. So she stabs him with the plastic knife, or whatever. So he dies. And she gets to stay because after talking to Koro Sensei, he said, look at what she's done here and how much she helps the kids and how much she wants to be here. She is a true assassin and the kids need her. So she gets to stay, after killing Kurasama, who, if he didn't let her kill him, like, she would be gone, right? And we don't want Irina ever to be gone. We love Professor Bitch here at Biggles Mets, okay? We do. We love her, okay? There, we've said it. Okay. So we get another transfer time, right? So we get another transfer student. We just got Ritsu, who was the AI. Now we get Itana. Now Itana he tells Koro Sensei that he is his brother. And they're like, what? And you find out later what that means. It means he also has tentacles. So Itana has tentacles growing out of his hair. All he cares about is being the strongest right now. He's like, no, I won't fight you. You're not strong enough to fight me. So he basically has his first bout with Koro Sensei. And he loses, so they leave. And you're like, oh, okay. He leaves, right? Now, this is my favorite episode. Why? Baseball. They're playing baseball. You know it. I love it. So Class E, so there's a tournament going on with baseball, and Class E doesn't get to participate. So whoever wins basically gets to play Class E to kick their ass, right? They're like, now we go there to kick his ass, right? We're going to kick Class E's ass. And you get the kid who's already scouted to go like a whole bunch of places in baseball, right? This kid is so good at baseball. And Shugano, the baseball kid, he used to be on the team, and now that he's on E-Class, he's not allowed to be on the team. So they want to play against him. And he's like, we're going to have a good game, right? And this is the genius of Koro Sensei, right? So he can't teach them to hit well enough, but he matched his form exactly and pitches exactly like him. And then he speeds it up. So they're all learning with Koro Sensei speed compared to the other kid. Now, the other kid was throwing like 147 kilometers per hour, whatever that is in real units of measurement. I don't know. I don't know the conversion rate. So he throws really fast, and Koro Sensei would be throwing him at like 160 or whatever. Be like, yeah, you gotta get these and hit these. So he comes up with a plan to beat them, bunting, and they just basically bunt the whole time. And then when Shugano comes up, he goes to bunt, pulls back, and hits like a triple or something. So they take the lead. I think it's like a bases clearing triple. I think it's like 3 or 4 runs. But they're just bunting the whole time. So they devise a strategy and just have everybody come up, like playing up. They have like 9 or like 8 people in the infield because they have their catcher, right? So they have like 8 people in the infield. And they're crowding the plate and stuff, and they're just standing in the infield. And the umpire won't call it because he'll let Class A do whatever he wants, because he's in on hating E-Class. And they're like, okay, whatever. And then they tell Karma to go up, right? They're like, Karma, go up there. And Karma just starts talking shit, right? Because Karma talks shit, and he's really good at it. And he's really getting in the guy's head. And he gets the guy out, or they get the guy out, and then he goes up, and he's like him, and who's the other one that's standing right there? Was it? It might have been Isegai, President Poverty. It might have been Isegai who was up there with Karma, and they get to the point where they're literally this close to him, right? So when they go to swing, if he was to hit them, it would be interference on them, right? So he swings, and at the last second, they both dodge back and dodge the bat, and he misses, and they end up winning. And this drives Principal Okino even more nuts. And the girls got their butt kicked in volleyball, but the guys won in baseball. So it is awesome. Best episode of the show because it's baseball, and I fucking love baseball. Now, Takako, I forgot his name, but he wants you to call him daddy or father, one of the two. I don't know. He's fucking weirdo. So this is like a ex-military guy trained with Kurasama, and they're like, he's going to come in and teach PE, and he has like a different method of teaching. He wants to teach by intimidation, right? So what he does is how he would train in the military is he'd take like whoever was the one who thought he was the baddest and knock him out and cause him to lose fate. And then they're like, okay, we got to follow this guy. He can kick the shit out of the strongest guy we got. He like gives them candy and stuff, trying to get them to like really like him. And then they don't like him, and they're like, we want Mr. Kurasama back. And Kurasama's like, I can't. It's rules, or like I'm under orders, right? And the other dude was like, I'm going to fucking kick this kid's ass, right? And they're like, all right, pick a student. And earlier in the episode, which I didn't talk about, he's training with Nagase, and he like shows like a snake, and he like latches on to Kurasama, and he like didn't sense that he was there, and he like almost fucking killed Nagase. Like that's how badass this dude is. He almost killed the smallest dude on the planet or in the school, right? And like throws him down, and he's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. Like, so they go up, and he's like, pick their best fighter. And like, I think Karma's not in this episode, right? Because otherwise they probably would have just chose Karma, and Karma probably would have won. But Nagase's there. So what happens is he's like, no, we're not going to use the plastic knife. We're going to use the real knife. And Nagase just strolls up to him and then takes his back and has the knife to his throat because that's his hidden talent that it says right here. Nagase reveals his hidden talent. He grabs him, like has him by the back, like fucking back mount, basically, with the knife to his throat. And you're just like, damn, you didn't see that coming. And he tells you exactly, Nagase tells you what he's going to do because he like narrates throughout the entire thing. And it's just badass. And he's like, oh, you got to leave. And that pisses him off. And we'll find out what happens later with that. Then we get to Vision Time where they use Terasaka as like a pawn. And they're all swimming in the pool. And Koro Sensei can't go into the water because it will swell him up. If he has his mucus, he can go. But I think he was sick that day and they were like rooting his mucus. No. He doesn't have his. He's not sick in this one. That's a later episode that happens. So they find out that he's really weak against water and he doesn't want anything to happen to his kids. So he has a second fight with how do you wait? Itona. Sorry. He has another fight with Itona, and he's trying to save all the students while fighting Itona, while being hit with water, so he's swelling up, and he is in a bad position. Then we have end of the term. For finals, they have to beat Class A, right? They have to beat Class A, the Big Five. They get in a fight with not like a physical fight, like a verbal fight in the library with the Big Five. They make a challenge. This is where you meet like the younger Akino, not the president. And he's trying to figure out what his father's up to. He wants to find out what E-Class is doing. So he's trying to figure out what about Koro Sensei, right? So they're going off and they find, or if you get first in your class for any subject, you get to shoot off one of Koro Sensei's tentacles. So they go do that and they have their thing. And 4 of the boys get first place in home rec. They all get 100%. Nakamura got first in English. I think Karma got first in something, and I think Okada got first in science. So then we get schools out first term. After 2 days of exams, the results are in, both in ACE's class and end of E class. Must come to terms with the outcome, so must Koro Sensei. So this is basically the end of what I just said in the other episode. They got their results. Koro Sensei's like, shit, now they get to shoot off 7 things. So now they this is where the quote from Lindsay that she signed it for me. Anything can be a sword if you polish it enough. That's right. They trapped Koro Sensei using porn. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but using dirty magazines, using dirty magazines to stop Koro Sensei. And basically they're trying to assassinate Koro Sensei. So they use dirty magazines because boobs are his greatest weakness, you know? And he's like, I knew there was a trap there, but I couldn't help it, you know? So just Koro Sensei. And he's like, no, you can't tell anybody, right? And they're also recording it, but you don't actually know that during this episode. You find out a little later that they were actually recording it. And now they're heading to an island so they can set up killing Koro Sensei. This is like the class trip, another class trip, right? So Pandemonium time. Class E must put their lessons to practice as they tackle an intimidating hotel brimming with baddies, and all without Koro Sensei's help. Now, this one, they wait. Oh, sorry, I skipped one. So this is action time. So basically, now they get to try to assassinate Koro Sensei. Now they figure out that they almost kill him, and now they find out that he has a new power. It's called Total Defense form, where he becomes a little ball. He can't move. You have to hold him, and he can't be killed. He can't take damage in that form, so he's pretty much indestructible. But he can't move, and he's like, well, you can't kill me or you can't place me in water here because then I will explode and kill everybody. So they're like, oh shit. So they almost kill him, and they recorded him with the dirty magazines. And they're like, oh no. And they flustered him by showing it in a video. They made a video of who Koro Sensei is, And it's a really funny episode. Now we get Pandemonium time. This is where we get Christopher Sora in the movie or in the show. He plays Grip. He is basically my favorite voice actor. Right, even though his character is not that great in here, but you meet him at the very end, so you don't actually get to fight, or you don't get to the fight in this episode. But you find out all the kids are poisoned, and by poisoned, you find out later that he just gave them a bad case of food poisoning. They were told to actually kill him, but they're like, no, fuck that. I'm not going to kill these kids, right? Because they're like, no, fuck that. That's fucked up. So they stop the poison guy, and they head to upstairs, and that's where the next episode starts, where they meet Grip. And this is Karma gets in a fight with him, and Karma wins, and he sticks like hot mustard and I think another sauce like up his nose, and he like tortures the guy after he wins. And then they let's see. Then they head up to the next guy as well, and that guy's the sharpshooter, where he doesn't miss, but I think he was missing on purpose, because, like we find out later, they don't want to actually kill them. So they basically get in a shootout with this guy, and Chiba and Hayame just fucking wreck. And they shoot above him, and they drop the fucking stage lights on him and hit him with the stage light. Now, this dude is a fucking psychopath. He like puts a loaded gun in his mouth and licks it. He's like, oh, it's so good. Like, fucking crazy dude. And yeah. So then we get Takako time. So this is the bully guy, the guy who's been used as a pawn. Karma calls him dumb all the time. He's sick. He has the food poison thing with him as well. And they make it to the end where the guy just has all the bombs stuff. And he comes through, and while he's sick, and he does some good stuff. Now, this one's called Nagase time. Remember that teacher I talked to you earlier that wanted to be called Daddy or something for father? Well, it turns out he's the one who hired these assassins to try to kill these kids. And basically, there was Irina's teacher that I talked about earlier, the person she was a protege on, it's like the baddest assassin, taught Nagase a trick. So he has a stun gun on one side and a knife on the other side. He comes in, goes forward, drops the knife, and then comes out and stuns him with the thing and beats the guy's ass after he blew up the antidote saying, all of your friends are going to die, haha. And then you find out that they're like, nah, none of you are going to die. We're once we figured out that he's trying to kill a bunch of kids because they kicked his ass, they're like, nah, that's bad for business. So they didn't do it. So now we're in season 2. Coruscant. So this is they try to set up Karasima with Irina, but he's like, everybody thinks he's clueless, but he's just very business first. He's like, yeah, I can't do this. So they're also like, he's also setting up like a haunted cave and like pairing up. He's shipping all the kids together, and the character that always breaks the fourth wall is like, shippers, like. And then Nagasi's like, he's shipping all the kids, right? And then later you find out, oh no, we're just as much into shipping as they are. So they're shippers. Shippers are bad. We don't like shippers, but we do like this show, so we like them. Then we get Kaede's time. Kaede rarely does anything. She's basically just there. But she makes a giant-ass pudding where they tried to blow up Koro Sensei in pudding. And then they play cops and robbers. And they just keep bribing Koro Sensei with, like, dirty pictures and a whole bunch of stuff. So Class E wins. And Karasima's like, what are you doing? You can be bribed. And it's one of the funnier episodes in the show. And like the pudding thing, you're like, what the fuck is this pudding thing? But they're trying to kill him with the pudding. So it's actually kind of cool, Ituna's horrible time, or horrible time. I don't know how to say it. This is when Ituna is like going crazy. The tentacles are causing him so much pain. He's trying to kill Koro Sensei. They, I believe, they set Koro. Hold on, I think it's the right episode. Let me just see if they're showing any pictures. Okay, so they try to frame Koro Sensei that he's been stealing ladies' bras, right? So he doesn't get in trouble with his students because he doesn't want to lose his students' respect. It's like, it wasn't me, and like it was literally one of Karasima's agents, like dressed up in a helmet, like a motorcycle helmet, made it look like Koro Sensei, and the government allowed Shiro to use him. So you get this epic fight between Ituna and Koro Sensei. And then it ends with Ituna losing his tentacles, which stops the pain and creates better stuff, right? Better stuff for us. Then we have spinning time. Ituna loves mechanics, like mechanical stuff, building stuff, and he makes a thing. And the entire boys, all the boys, except I think Karma and Nagasi, are like trying to use this to spy on the girls, right? So if you've seen American Pie presents Band Camp, it's basically what that nerd guy does, where he goes and spies on the girls with his little robot. So that's what the guys are trying to do, and he's like, "Oh, we could use it for like assassination because it's too quiet for him to know, right?" And then it doesn't make enough noise when he shoots it, right? And the boys are like, oh yeah, we can add all this stuff, and they're basically doing it to spy on the girls. But yeah, it's a fun episode. And then we get pole toppling. I don't know, or flag toppling, something like that. I don't actually know what it is because we don't play it here. But Class A versus E Class, and they have a competition because Isugai, the class president of E-Class, got caught working at his other job. And they're like, well, we'll let you do this if you do this. And they come up with a plan. They fake some guys getting hurt, like in the beginning of the thing, They came back and helped topple the pole. And this is where you learned that Akano, like the principal's son, not the principal, can actually hold his own. And he messes up some of the boys, and then they eventually get it. And yeah, it's pretty brutal, right? And then we have before and after. They're all jumping. They're all jumping on buildings. They're like, oh, this is the fastest way to go. And then they fell down on some old man, and basically they're learning from like pre-elementary school people, pre-primary school, I guess is what it's called there. So it's like I guess it's like a preschool, I guess. Where they had to like teach all these kids and have they ended up doing like a play. And it was actually a pretty fun episode. And then you learn, or then we meet the Reaper, and like earlier they were talking about the greatest assassin, the Reaper. Well, this isn't the real Reaper, but he is the Reaper in this episode. Leads to it. So, okay, so this one, it says a well-intentioned stack. So Kurasama forgot Irina's birthday, Professor Bitch. So the kids get flowers and make Kurasama gives it to her. And then she has like a falling out, and she basically leaves, or she's basically kidnapped by the Reaper. And he comes into the class and he's like, I'm the one known as the Reaper. As you know, I gave you all these flowers. Flowers are so inviting, right? And he goes on a spiel. And then they have all the kids trapped into a cage in this next episode. And they try to kill Koro Sensei. He's like, I can do this. I can get out of these bars by licking it, because it doesn't kill me by licking these anti-me bars, right? And basically, Kurasama goes and he fights the Reaper, and basically Irina goes to kill him, and she gets Kurasama, like, basically brings the house down on her, and like he goes back and saves her and all that. And yeah, but she's like, no, I'm working with this. I am an assassin. She works with the Reaper, and that's not. So the next one is round 2 time. The students consider their future career options, and Nagasi's like, I want to be an assassin. And this is where you meet his mother. His mother is like awful. She's the one why he has long hair, dresses as a girl, like dresses him as a girl. Wants him to be a girl, not a boy, and wants him to go to this school. You need to do this. You need to do this. And he doesn't like it. And you find out his mother, her behavior is why his father leaves him, right? Or like abandons the family, because his mother is a psychopath. She would never win Mom of the Year. So school festival time. They compete, so they make their own like restaurant, and they're competing against A class that basically has like a concert going on one side and food on the other side. So every time you want to go see a new show, you have to go pay a new ticket. So you're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I don't need this on right now. You're going back and forth paying for this. And E-Class is just like, all right, well, we can do this. And the kid that they met in the club, which I didn't talk about because I couldn't remember which episode it was, but they dressed Nagasi as in a dress, and he met this rich kid, right? Well, that rich kid comes to the thing, so they dress Nagasi as a girl again, and Nakamura and Karma, Rio and Karma are like, yeah, we have to, well, we're dressing you as a girl. Come on, you gotta make it. You gotta work that magic, Nagase. And they're like, she's like, no. And then like he tells them that he was a boy, and he's like, no way, you're a boy, right? And Karma's like, you told him I was going to have you do this cosplay for him for $5,000 or 5,000 yen, right? Which is like $33. Chunk is home now. That's good. That is good. We'll finish pretty soon, hopefully. And then they almost win because that kid is like the biggest food blogger there is. And he brings them all in there, and they probably would have won, but they couldn't make any more food or they would destroy the environment around them, so they didn't do it. End of term, second period. This is insane. So they basically make these crazy ass questions, like super fucking crazy. And A class just starts training, and Principal Akuno motivates them that like everything is bad unless you do it. And some of the students do really well, and Karma actually doesn't do good. So they talk a lot of shit to Karma. And Koro Sensei, it's like, no, he needed to learn to lose, right? Because now he can grow. Now we got episode 12. This is when the principal comes in with 5 books. 4 of them have grenades that can kill Koro Sensei. 1 of them can kill him. Koro Sensei is flustered when he has to solve stuff quick. So the first one blows off his hand. The second one, he's like, oh, no, I have all these memorized, and he just did it. And then the principal's like, okay, very well then. And he goes and does the thing, and he was about to kill himself. And Koro Sensei uses his skin again to save the principal. And then you find out why in this next episode. This next episode, you find out that one of his students committed self-deletion. And that's why he pushes everyone to make them strong so no one can bully them into hurting themselves. So that is, you learn that in this episode. So you learn that he's actually a really good guy. The kid was a great basketball player and was going places, and he just got bullied till he was no more. Secret identity time. After or as E-Class cleans up the drama festival, they learn that one of their classmates is big secret connected to Koro Sensei's past. So this is where you meet, or Kaede Kayano, you find out that she is actually related to their old teacher and the one Koro Sensei was in love with. And they get in a fight. And she basically dies, and they rebuilt her together, and they're like, did she go up a cup size after they rebuilt her? And then you meet that Koro Sensei was in love with her sister, and that he was the real Reaper, and he didn't actually destroy the moon. It was a mouse. And then you learn why he's going to be, or why he was the teacher, and how he escapes. Then Discord time. This is when you find out that you can... Hold on. Oh, that they want to try to save Koro Sensei, or they want to kill Koro Sensei. So you get an epic battle throughout them. They're basically playing paintball. And it shows off a lot of the kids' skills of how good they are when it comes to assassination now. Now we got outcome time. The last episode ends with Karma saying, come out here and fight me, Nagase. So they go and they fight, and Karma and Nagase have a fight. These two were like best friends, when they were younger, but Karma started actually scaring, or Nagase started scaring Karma because he was, sometimes he was hard to notice. So he was really good at like infiltration because people just wouldn't notice him. And that's probably why they stopped going. And Nagase wins the fight. He beats Karma. Now, why does he beat Karma? Karma didn't have the heart to stab him in the back. So he just tapped and let Nagase win. Nagasa. That's how you say his name, Nagasa. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. And then they go into outer space. Karma and Nagasa go into outer space, and they basically threaten these guys, and then they don't threaten the astronauts. And they find out that it's only like 1% of Koro Sensei chance of blowing up and dying. So they're like, we can do it. We can save him, right? And they figure out how to save Koro Sensei. Now, Valentine's Day with high school exams. This is a super funny episode because they're trying to teach Kaede how to give her things to Nagasa. Oh, I forgot. There was an epic kiss in the secret one, the secret identity time. And ever since then, she's been in love with Nagase because he kissed her, because they're like, someone's need to get her back. And he's like, I got this. And he just goes in and kisses her. And she's like, oh, right now she's in love. Right. So you basically see how everyone gives each other chocolates. Sugano, after he gets the chocolates from Kanzuki, he's like, yes, thank you. And he's like slamming his head against the wall. It's so funny. And then like Meg gives him to Isugai, Okada gives it to Karma, Hayame gives it to Chiba. You got Kurahashi, I think, gives it to Marahara, maybe? I forgot who she gives it to. Right? Okay. Fuck it. Next person. So now that E-Class has solved trust time. So now that E-Class has solved how to save Koro Sensei, instead of assassinating the government's like, nah, fuck that. We're going to assassinate him. And basically they go to the people, like the media, and are like, oh, this monster has been living here, blah, blah, blah. So we have to quarantine him. And then happy birthday time. This is Koro Sensei's birthday. So they get past the perimeters. They go in. They fuck up a bunch of government agents because they know the area so well because they've been training there for the last year. They fucking kick ass, and they get to Koro Sensei, and they're like, we baked you a cake. And the whole time he's been working on a yearbook for them. He's like, look at all these pictures I took of you. And he took a whole bunch of pictures of them, and they're like, one of the boys walks around like naked or something like that. He's like, why do you have these? Why are you walking around the school naked? They ask. It's pretty funny. Now Koro Sensei's in another fight against Yanasara, who I think is Shiro, the guy in the white cloak that we met earlier. I think that's who that is. Or no. I think that's the Reaper. No, okay. So the guy who was in the white, and then he made the Reaper, who used to be the apprentice of Koro Sensei, and he stole Koro Sensei's name because Koro Sensei used to be the Reaper, and he now has tentacles, but he is driven by pure hatred, and he will only last 3 hours. So he's having a fight. He's twice as fast as Koro Sensei, but Koro Sensei ends up winning. Now, graduation time. He has made his yearbook. This is the saddest episode of the entire show. He takes role one last time, and Nagisa is the one who has to kill Koro Sensei, and they're all crying as they hold him down as he stabs him and gets the kill. So all the reward money goes to the kids, and basically all the money that they got, they put into going to school, and then the rest of it they gave back. And now future life, Kurasama and Irina finally get together. He tells her, well, she's like, I'm Catholic, right? And she's like, well, there's not a church by my house. So she's like, are you saying what I think you're saying? And she gets all happy. This has been going on for like 20 episodes now. She finally got her man, because now the job is done, so they can do business. And it says what Nagisa becomes a teacher. Kaede goes back into acting. Karma becomes a politician. And then you get all their history. They come back to E class, and they start doing stuff. I forgot exactly what they do. And yeah, that is the end of the show. I love the show. I think it's great. I think if you have time to watch it, watch it. I love it. So let me close that out. So that was me breaking down that. I know we're already an hour in, but I will do my tier list, and I'll do it fast, okay? We'll do the tier list fast. Okay, so we have waifu. That is Irina. Irina is the one, all right? I was told I had to choose a waifu. Irina, Professor Bitch. I'm totally down to let her kill me. I don't care if she's like, oh yeah, I'm only pretending. Yeah, okay, you can kill me. 21 years old, perfect. Whatever. All right, so this is Akino, the son, number one in the Big Five. He is a fucking badass character. He's going to be A class. So this is my waifu. This is S class, or S A B C D. I know it looks different, but we're ranking them based on how the class system works in their middle school. The principal, he's not as cool as his son, but he's definitely an A class character. He has a lot of character that you're just like, man, this dude's intimidating, and then you find out why he's intimidating. This is what is her name? Hazama. She is like the gore, or not gore lord, the horror lord. Like she's into horror, right? She's kind of boring, other than she likes horror. She's there. This is Justice. So there's a whole episode about Justice where they all get nicknames, and his nickname is just Justice because that's his actual name. She gets called Boobs and Scrunchy, or no, she gets called Boobs and Scrunchy. Is this the same person? Are those both the same person? I don't know. I think they're the same person. Oh, whatever. He gets called Baseball Geek. Right? Nagisa gets some chick name. Right? Okay. Justice. Boring. Karma. Karma's the best. All right? I love Karma. I'll be cosplaying as Karma. That is why my hair is long. I'm growing my hair out and dyeing it red for a day. Itana, kind of badass, just cares about being strong. So SB, so he's a B character, right? Let me just, okay, never mind. I'll just keep that, right? So she's the party girl, the pretty one, Kanzuki. She's, all she really got for is she's pretty. This is Karahashi. She likes bugs. She's actually got a lot of character. She is an A rank character for me. If you ask, who the fuck is this guy? I don't know this face. Oh, this is the guy obsessed with dirty magazines and stuff, and he's kind of a pervert. But you know what? He almost defeated Koro Sensei using just dirty magazines, so that makes him a B rank character for me. Karasuma is the baddest dude on the planet. He's strictly business, trains the kids. You know, you can't get better than the teachers in this show. If you ask me, one of the strongest characters. Then we have Hara. Hara's boring. We have is this Akano? I think this is Akano. What does she do again? Yeah, I don't remember her that much. Probably D. Chiba. This is Chiba. Okay, Chiba is a badass. He's the sniper. He kicks ass. He's the top of B, or top of B class, which is A rank, right? He's a badass. But because he's a badass, he actually has someone who's exactly like him, and that is right here. Why is this not working? Come back. Give me back my list. The fuck? I had a list that I was using. Okay. I knew her name. Ritsuka. No, Rika. Hayame. Hayame is her last name. These are the exact same characters, except one's a boy, one's a girl. Right? We'll put the girl in front. We don't want to be sexist here. Right? This is the dude who likes 2D characters more than real women. It's kind of boring. Miramar, he's the one who creates the video that almost kills Koro Sensei. He's mid. He's a little better than Justice. This is Meg. She is the class president for the girls. She keeps a lot of people in line. She's probably right there. Ritsu. This is the AI. She comes in clutch a lot. She actually has a lot of character. She has the most character growth in the show, I would say. And it all happens in one episode. She would be like right here. Koro Sensei is even better than Karasuma. You find out how much he really loves about these kids, and it's all because he fell in love with Kaino's sister. And I was very sad when he had to die because the kids figured out how to save him, and the government fucked it up. Boring as fuck. Okay, science is cool. So he's a lot more active in the manga than the anime. So he's mid. Marahara, he's the ladies' man. He's going to be better than that guy. So this is basically Rio Nakamura. She is basically a female Karma, and I think she's the main girl character in the show, based on like all her interactions and how she goes. So I would actually put her right behind Karma. These are my S rank characters. I think I have one more for S rank. Uh, uh, President Poverty, he's the top of A. He's like a really nice guy. Everybody loves him. He's the class rep, you know. He's poor, so he finds ways to do stuff for cheap. President Poverty is awesome. Boobs and Scrunchies. If these are the same person, I think I can't tell the difference. Wait, why is Fua? She should be here. She's the one who loves manga and stuff, and she breaks the fourth wall. I don't know why I had her where I had her. I think these are the same person. There's she has a lot more in the others in Koro Sensei Quest. So this is the main villain, Shiro. He's an awful dude. I chose this form of him. He like beats women and shit. He runs his father's ramen place. He's like mid. Nagasi's my last S tier. And he would probably be right there in my book. Yeah, so he has all the character growth. His actress, or the voice actress for him, is awesome. I got to meet her. She's really nice. I think that's the same person. I'm going to put them right next to each other because I can't. I know this one is Yada because that's what it saved in my thing is. So I don't know. He gets used a lot. He's kind of dumb. He comes in clutch one time, so I guess he could be in front of all of them and see. Baseball Geek. I love Baseball Geek. He would be in my A tier. Right there. Yoshida. He has motorcycles, and he's all right. He can go here. All right, there you go. That is my tier list. We got the waifu at top because no one touches Professor Bitch. And then there are my S, A, B, C, D. Okay. Thank you, everybody. That has been the Biggles Breakdown. Next week, we're going to stick with the assassin theme. So the finest assassin reincarnated into another world as an aristocrat. We're going to talk about that next week. I just started watching that this weekend, finished it because I had nothing else to do. When on Thursday when my stuff was fucked up. So I just watched it all Thursday. And yeah, I can't wait till season 2. They just announced a new season 2 like a couple weeks ago. So I'm waiting for season 2 to come out. I might be finding the manga and getting the manga. So we're sticking with assassins, and we'll do one next week with a different assassin anime. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you next time. And the Biggles Bites, I haven't decided what that's going to be. Maybe it will be another anime that I just kind of started, and we'll see. All right. Bye, everybody.